the UK. I'm Helen Barefoot from the University of Hertfordshire. I'm going to ask some of my colleagues to introduce themselves as well. So let's come to Sarah.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sarah Flynn. I'm also from the University of Hertfordshire.
And Kim, are you there?
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm Kim Tran. I'm a senior lecturer from University of Hertfordshire.
Lovely. Thank you, Kim. And then as we go through the session, we'll introduce our colleagues from the Vietnamese Intellectual Society, who we're so pleased are able to join with us today for a key part of this session. So this is part of our project addressing women's underrepresentation in leadership. And this workshop today is about the value of mentoring. So we'll be hearing about the value of structured mentoring for Vietnamese colleagues and to discuss the challenges and benefits of mentoring in a global environment. Let me just move on my screen. So just reminding people about the overarching project. So this is a collaborative project funded by the British Council, working with HUTECH, with Thap Community College and Dong University. We've been focusing on leadership development, and we've been creating support networks, as well as creating resources and online workshops to support colleagues and to think about female leadership, recognising that female leadership is underrepresented within academia. As you know, we've got a massive open online course about leadership, and we really hope people are engaging with those materials. So the MOOC has been developed, has got lots of different sections, including a section on mentoring and coaching. And we'll mention that again as a reminder at the end of this workshop. We've been establishing the network as we've been working together as part of our online workshops, and also using a media campaign to connect with colleagues, particularly in Vietnam. Also, as well, through that, we've been having our online workshops, and you can see we've had a number of those, one each month. We had a mentoring workshop in November to talk generally about the benefits of mentoring, being a mentor and also being mentored. This is the follow-up workshop with a very specific structured mentoring process that we'll be sharing with you. Our next workshop in February is about career development, and Sarah and our colleagues in our careers and enterprise team and employment team at the University of Hertfordshire will be facilitating that. And then our last workshop is on the 26th of March, and we'll be thinking about evaluating your learning and next steps, so action planning for your own development. So all of those are at 3:30 in the afternoon. We hope to see you also in the February and March online workshops. So, Kim, if I hand over to you and you're going to introduce our colleagues from the Vietnamese Intellectual Society.
Thanks a lot, Helen. Yes, welcome Dr. Quế Anh to this workshops. Quế Anh today, so you can share her experience as a mentor, of the Vietnamese Intellectual Society in the UK and also in Northern Ireland. Quế Anh, can you introduce yourself and also please share your experience and also the knowledge about, being a mentor. Please welcome. Quế Anh, do you want to share any PowerPoint presentation?
I think she put in the chat that she might need to restart her laptop because there's a technical problem.
Okay.
I think while waiting for Quế Anh, maybe let me take over. Let her sort out the technical issue. I'm Huấn Nguyen, a professor of digital communication engineering, and I'm the director of the London Digital Twin Research Center at Middlesex University, and I'm also the chair of the Vietnamese Intellectual Society. Quế Anh was the vice chair just 1 year ago, but now she just become an executive member. And so, okay, maybe I shouldn't just take over the slide and talk through that. But you know that the society has now about 200 members who are from professor level. I think we have around 20 full professors and around 50 associate professor. The rest is the senior lecturers, and up to the postdoctoral levels. And so we all of Vietnamese origins, but currently we live and work in the UK and Ireland as well. So a variety of different expertise, and I think about maybe we work about in around more than 70 universities in the UK and Ireland with over 30 disciplines. So if you ask about expertise, we are quite confident that we have members to cover different area. So talking of mentorship, that also very handy in terms of that. If you're looking for someone with the right expertise, if you really want to ask technical questions, then we also have members to be able to support that. Not sure if questions come in, not yet, right? So the mentorship is started from our own initiative in the way that, okay, we think that we can give back a lot to our Vietnamese early career researchers who really wanted to either go and pursue a PhD overseas or wanted to develop their own career in Vietnam. And also for anyone who wanted to improve about publication skill, research skill, how to work with colleagues, how to work in the team, many different skills that we ready to, because one of the very good things that we has been through that, right? We have been through the journeys, and any mistake that we suffer from, we can tell you. And that's the best way, we share with you, not just about the successes, but about the failure as well, so that we can learn a lot. So that our own initiative, I think in 2022, we came to Vietnam at the National University of Economics. We launched the initiative of mentorship together with the Ministry of Education and Training and with the British Council as well. And it was very successful. And then we have a lot of the group mentoring, one-to-one mentoring, and some of the very successful cases out there. I hope that Quang will share later. Later on, we'll have more official collaboration with the British Council, where we have the programs. We work in maybe more systematic way, how to support people, especially the lecturers from various universities in Vietnam. And yeah, maybe when we have the slides showing, we will see. Let me see if I can share the slide and show you about our Vietnamese Intellectual Society. Maybe if Gwen is not here yet, I can talk more about our society. Okay, so just give me 1 second if I have the slide here. 1 minute.
So I would encourage, any members, anyone here would like to, put in the chat your questions, maybe we can answer later on as well. And at the moment, please do, if you want to ask anything, please do speak up while waiting for Professor Hunt to share the slide. Oh, here we are. Brilliant. Thank you, Hunt.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the latest slides. I think our secretary team have that, but I couldn't get it here. So I just use almost 1 year old slide, but it's okay as you can update what we have. So you can see this society is not just for the UK, but we cover our colleagues or members from Ireland as well. And so we founded in December 2020. You see that the member 160 plus, but now I think approaching 200 now, right? So our aims, okay, our vision is that we foster connection and collaboration among the VIS member. We believe that any society need to benefit, need to support its member at first and foremost. And then, of course, that we wanted to promote and develop the Vietnamese community in the UK and Ireland. So not just us, we have many other Vietnamese community, like the business one, the students, and so on. And one of the things that we have done very successfully is that to strengthen the relationship between the Vietnam, the UK, and the Republic of Ireland at even the highest level. So many activity with the leadership from Vietnam, visiting us in the UK here, that we participate in. I mentioned about the expertise and the number of members and so on already, right? And so I just skip that. Quyen, are you
Yeah.
ready? I saw that you joined.
Yes.
Thank you.
So yes, I think Quế Anh's
Please
here.
carry on.
No, I think time is limited, so I will stop here. I can carry on later on. You can start now.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning from very cold England to everyone, and I hope you can hear me well.
Yeah, we can hear you very well. Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much.
joining the workshop today with us.
Thank you. And further to one just presented, I am a member of the executive board of the Vietnamese Intellectual Society. And I would say that we, in the past 5 years, the mentorship program is one of the flagship programs that we offer. And I'm one of the mentor or coordinator of the area of research in education and social sciences, language, including language, especially English language, applied linguistic, and teaching English as second language. But my background is in development studies and education. So with my experience, I have been approached by quite a number of junior researchers from Vietnam. And in the first round of our mentorship program, I have been mentoring 4 postdoc researcher. They have already graduated from PhD programs either in the UK, Australia, Hungary, or Israel. So those are the people who return to Vietnam and work as lecturer in Vietnam. They have difficult time returning and understanding or reintegrating into the culture of their institution, and not all of them return to the same institution. They return to Vietnam, but then start working in a different institution. So their issue and their concerns and the challenges are very different from the second group, which is in the second round of our mentorship program, where we support PhD candidate. They are lecturer at university in Vietnam, throughout Vietnam. And again, I have 5 mentees. I have been supporting 5 mentees in the past 5 months, or 4 or 5 months. They are lecturer at university in Vietnam. However, after several years of working as lecturer, they are preparing for their doctorate and hoping to achieve scholarship from the government or applying for scholarship from elsewhere to go overseas to study. Or some of them actually thinking of a joint PhD program between overseas university and a Vietnamese university. So they are at different stage of their career, and their concerns and their challenges are also different from the first group. So today I also have with me three of them who in the room, I can see them in the room, in the call right now. For me, the values of mentoring, personally, I have been through different mentoring program myself over the last 20 years, when I spent about 10 years in Denmark, and the last 12 years in the UK. I received a number of training program, or I have attended a number of training program, including mentoring. So I think it's time for me to give back, to share my experience. The values of mentoring is to learn how to share, learn how to listen to others, and also learn a lot from them, because the problem change over time. Also the research interest change over time. Especially for women in academia, the problems are enormous. We have to make extra efforts to try and also to discover ourselves. So this is also a journey of discovering myself and the strengths and weaknesses of myself through my teaching, supervising, and mentoring. So this is, I think for me, by talking to people, by listening to people, I also reflect on my journey in the past over 20 years of becoming a researcher, of becoming a PhD supervisor, of becoming a mentor, and a colleague living in and working in a multicultural environment. So that value for me, and I'm sure that there won't be values for the people who attend or participated in our mentoring program, which I'm going to leave room for them to share with you in a few minutes. For me, a mentor, I have experienced mentors who are much more senior than me, who have a wide range of research and industrial experiences. Some of them have worked outside academia for many years and come into academia later in their career. And some of them have never been working outside academia. And some of them have never written their thesis in other languages. And some of them have gone through 4 or 5 education systems and have to write their thesis in several different languages, which is not their own mother tongue. But for example, myself, most of my higher education experience are outside Vietnam, and I have written all of my thesis in the language not my mother tongue. So that another layer of challenges that I can share with you, and how to learn to work in another academic tradition, how to cross culture, how to reserve your culture as well, and how to really develop your identity and academic identity in an international working environment. How to listen and how to respond in practice and on daily life. It's also another learning curve for me. For example, when we study education, cooperation between the UK and Southeast Asia, that was one of my projects. The definition of early career researchers are very different. For example, in the UK, the classification of early career researchers is very different from that of Southeast Asian country. also the relationship between junior and senior academic in academia in the UK also very different from those relationship in, say, Vietnam or Indonesia. In the UK, in my experience working in at Bristol University and at Coventry University, the relationship is rather, I would say, less hierarchical and more flat. Whereas, say, when I work in Indonesia, people do not address the senior by their first name, and they always need to, in many cases, they need to sign their senior, either their supervisors or their team leader in their work. Whereas in the UK, I never experienced that I need to sign my line manager work or my own supervisors, for example. Also in other culture where most of my Malaysian, Indonesian, and other colleagues, they need to sign Quran in their work as well. Whereas in Vietnam or in the UK, it's not. We never thought of we need to sign a religious document in our work. So that kind of subtle the things that we need to learn, and we really have that insight into the working environment and understand the expectation in our group, understand the dynamic within the workplace. So just give you some mini example, but I think my time is up, so I would probably give the room to introduce. I probably would like to introduce 3 mentee who is in the room. Meet Quân from Huế University, and meet Mai from Open University in Ho Chi Minh City, and meet Ha. I hope you are all in here. Meet Ha from Hong Lak University.
Wait, I thought you're gonna use some slides to present. No?
No, that's fine. That probably fine. You can do it later. So the
Right, brilliant.
I think,
okay. But then I stop sharing then.
So probably Miss Mai, I saw that you are on in front of my screen. So can you share with the colleague in the room in the call how you know about the mentorship program, and what are your reflection on the journey and on the experience that you or any interesting thing that you draw from all the meeting with me and also with other colleagues, because mentoring is not only from senior to junior but also peer mentor. I also learn from my peer as much as I learn from my senior colleague.
Thank you, Dr. Huế, and good evening from Vietnam, and good evening, everybody. Good morning, England. My name is Mai. My full name is Nguyễn Thị Xuân Mai. I'm currently a full-time lecturer at Ho Chi Minh City Open University, and I'm currently a candidate for Project 89 scholarship from MOETS, and I knew the program mentoring from British Council websites. I follow British Council because I used to work there. And then I am a big fan of British Council. One day I saw a post. I saw a post on British Council Facebook, as far as I remember, and I immediately registered for this program because, during my journey applying for the scholarship to earn a place for my PhD journey, I'm gonna have 2 adjectives to describe it. The first one, that is uncertain and solitary. Just like a lone wolf and I don't know where to go, what to do. But then when I saw this mentoring program, I know that I have someone behind me. So I have my Dr. Wei and have my back, or British Council gonna help me. I remember exactly my feeling on the first day I met Dr. Wei and online, as well as my peers here. I share with them a lot emotionally about my feelings when I am writing my research proposal. And Dr. Wei An has instructed me from the very first step, including choosing the topic for my research, how many words that should be, and how should I change the verb, how should I change the word choice, for example. And I can see that it is a kind of a phrase that we call structure mentoring, because he showed me step by step from the very first step, that's the name, the title for my research. And also later on, she helped us to fix the abstracts. And then the next step, that's gonna be about method. Yeah, she has a lot of critical questions for me and for my friends. Why this work? Why this method? And thanks to those questions, I know how to think critically when I write the research proposal. And we do have a very logical way of meeting. You know, we have a meeting notes in any meeting, and Dr. Wei and assign each of us to note something down so that our friends who was absent on that day can review it, and we ourselves can look at it once again. I really appreciate the way that she has organized the meeting, and also a lot of comments, a very detailed comment that she has for us, because, you know, I've been working as an English lecturer for more than 10 years. I supervise undergrad students as well. But when I myself started with my research proposal, I feel like I'm a middle of nowhere, where to go, where to start. And I don't know if that is the right way to do or not. I don't know if I am competitive enough to win the scholarship or not. But then I need a mentor who has good experience, who know what is right, what is wrong, why is this the best one. And that is why I want to say thank you to this, especially Dr. Wei An, and also my peers, my friends, Miss Hà Lê here, and Wong, and other friends. They share their research proposal, and from them I can learn a lot. I mean, we can learn from friends, as Dr. Wei An mentioned, and also from the sharing that Professor Huang, he said that from their mistake that they have gone through, they show us the way not to make the same mistake like them. Yeah, that is. I want to talk a lot, but I want you to listen to my peers, because each person gonna have their own story. I can talk about this journey the whole day. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Mai. I think the key word when I started working with mentees or colleague in Vietnam is trust. Sometime I need to share with you that people who have never met in person before, even we speak the same language. We speak Vietnamese. We're female. We have a lot of share a common thing in common. But when it comes to sharing personal opinion, sharing ideas, I think it's difficult at first. But the first thing I always put in probably the first priority is to build trust. So trust comes from a very first step, and also even the gesture, how you speak to people, how you open up, how you share the ideas, how you work collaboratively, how you really gain trust. I mean, trust needs to be earned and trust needs to be built. So therefore, when people trust, they start to share more, and they feel like we build a safe place So everybody think that we build a safe place together, and we can actually share proposals, share also challenges. And sometimes they're always afraid that, oh, I have a silly question, and I said there was no silly question, and only silly answers. There is no silly question. So also encouragement. So the keyword that I think trust, encouragement, but critical encouragement. Not just encourage for the sake of encouragement. So yeah.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
probably see Ha Lei as well in the call.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for joining a little bit late because I have another conflict meeting with another webinar. So actually, after listening to the sharing from Dr. Quế Anh and my peer, Miss Mai, I am so impressed. And I have nothing else to say. But from, to start with, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lê Thị Hà, and I have been a lecturer at Lạc Hồng University, the Faculty of English Language, for 13 years right now. And today I'm honored to share with all of you what mentoring has meant to me in this program. So before joining this program with VIS, I myself often felt unsure about. I keep wondering, is it good enough? Is this idea good enough? Is it too small? Or am I ready yet? I always wonder myself. And to be honest, I think I question myself more than I should have. But mentoring, being mentored by Miss Quế Anh and the peers has changed the way I think. So Miss Quế Anh and the peers in the community has helped me realize that research is nothing that is too, nothing that I'm too afraid of, actually. And I can put everything that can get from my teaching context into my research. And from that moment, I realized that I do not need to wait until everything was perfect to start. And what I need to do is that I just needed to start right away. And this shift from, doubting myself to trusting my own experience, so it has made a big difference inside myself. So after the mentoring sessions with Miss Quế Anh and the other people, the other peers in the group, I began to take action. Actually, I have my research proposal before, but after the sessions, working and receiving the comments from Miss Quế Anh for my proposals, the questions that she asked me, and also she questions a lot. For example, this part, why do you do this, and how do you make it better? Instead of giving me the advice or the immediate answer, she asked questions so that I can realize and understand why and so what to be the next step for me. So the next thing I want to mention here is after the mentoring session, I became more serious about shaping my research ideas. And even I'm more confident in asking questions during the mentoring sessions with my group. Let me tell you, it is a kind of very safe place, a very safe space that I can trust them, I can ask questions, and even I can raise some ideas that, I'm not really afraid of making mistake in this community. So instead, I'm more proactive in planning for my research proposal as well. So again, instead of waiting to feel ready for my proposal, for my ideas, so after the sessions, the mentoring sessions, I started moving forward step by step. So for me, the most important value of mentoring with Miss Quế Anh and the peers is that I can receive the confidence and the encouragement, the critical encouragement. I agree with Miss Quế Anh. So you know what? When you have someone to listen to you, to understand you, and say that you can do this, it really matters to me, especially for me as a person who always, who often carry so many doubts silently. Yeah, and again, I'm so grateful to my friend, my dear friend, who had sent me the link to register for the Vietnamese Intellectual Society when they call for the participants. And also, my deepest thanks go to Miss Quế Anh and the organizers of this society, as well as my peers. This opportunity, it didn't change everything overnight. I mean, the mentoring, it is not something that could change overnight, but it has changed how I see myself. And I am proud to say that that has made all the difference in me. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much for your kind word, Ha. I think it's really mean a lot to me as well. And I can see the meaning of my work. And I'm very happy that all of you actually help to make it happen. And me alone, I may not be able to do so. So I really thank the group, and I thank everyone efforts for your efforts, because trust is the first thing, encouragement is second thing, but also we all become more confident. Not only you, but I think everybody in the community feel confident. I mean, you cannot wait until everything is perfect. You need to start. That is what we all have to do. And I think you did very well. And I remember that I also need to think of the time difference, also your workload. You have to teach and mark. And I remember some of the mentoring session, you were sitting in your car so that you have a space to talk to us from your car outside you just came out from teaching, and then you switched to the mode. You didn't want to drive home, but you go into the car, you have a quiet space. So I really appreciate that. It's only the passion, and also you feel the meaning of these meetings. So you make yourself available for that. And really thank you for all the efforts that you made the community meaningful for all of us.
Thank you so much.
I think Meet Quân is in the call as well. Quân.
Yeah, hello everyone. Am I coming through okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Trần Nhạc Quân, and I'm a lecturer at the university. So I think that I'm a newbie, yeah, in this academic world, because I have 5 years of teaching experience. Yeah, so today I want to take a moment to share how this BC mentorship activities have been a cornerstone of my PhD journey so far. And like all of my other colleagues have mentioned, so when I first started working on my PhD proposal, I felt a bit, no, not a bit, but totally lost in the academic weeks. Yeah, but the mentoring meetings broke everything down into such practical steps. For example, beyond the mechanics of the standard skeletons of a proposal, this mentorship has challenged my critical thinking, and I have learned to stop searching for shopping lists, titles, actually choose between a solid or conservative approach, or something more like attention grabbing. Yeah, or merely confirming what others have said. And the discussion instead here pushed me to include the counter arguments and convert the real world societal issues into rigorous scholarly problems. And my mentors, Ms. Nguyen, even helped me tighten up my title to that sweet spot of 15 to 20 words while cutting out the cliche. And what I appreciate most though is the why me aspect in the research proposal. Why me? And the orientation meeting helped me figure out like how to highlight fairness and care for marginalized group in my work because I want to research resilience in second language education. And it's make the whole project feel much more personal and significant. And on top of that, one of the coolest parts has been the learning alongside all of you, like Miss Mai or Miss Har and other people. And when Miss Nguyen gives feedback to another mentee, I find myself taking note too. Yeah, and whether it's seeing how someone else convert a practical issues into like a scholarly problem or how they justify why me for their specific topic, it makes me like it's make the whole process feel less lonely. Yeah, and helps me refine my own critical thinking. And the feedback we share as a group has really taught me how to include counter arguments to ensure my data collection criteria are crystal clear and is turned what could have been a stressful and solo task into a collaborative roadmap. And I feel so much more research ready. Yeah, knowing I have this community to lean on. And thank you to the mentors, especially Ms. Nguyen, for your detailed guidance and to my peers for the shared journey. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. I think we probably giving our inner thought, and thank you all for your kind word. And I guess that I hand it back to Helen and Sarah, or invite question or continue the program. I mean, if you have any immediate question, we would be able to answer from the audience and how we set it up and how what other difficulty or challenges that we face. So any quick question, we will be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Krian. Thank you, Miss Mai. Thank you, Miss Harley, and thank you, Miss Kwan. So inspiring to hear about your experiences and that importance of being the mentor and that development of that critical encouragement. But then for the experience of being mentored, particularly the experience of developing confidence and expertise, and particularly how you spoke about, I would say, an imposter syndrome, not feeling you were good enough, and how the mentoring really helped you reflect and think about your skills and develop your confidence. And so you could then just get on and do it. And particularly for Mai and Kwan as well, how that structured processing really helped you with the development of the research proposal and moved forward with that research. So shall we come back to Professor Hun and hear about the society as people think about questions? And then Kim, I know you've got an opportunity to facilitate some discussion and questions for our presenters today, if that's all right.
Absolutely, Helen. Okay, very nice to hear. Even myself, first time I hear a lot of the mentees. I have my own mentee as well, but it's really nice to hear from Mai and Kun. About the society, I got hundreds of slides, so we can stay the whole morning. Yeah. But okay, let me go back to the slide and say, if you want to know more about our society, then I can go through a little bit, not all the slide, but okay, where did I stop? Just maybe I will just quickly go through the slide we have. About myself, that if anyone hasn't known about myself, as I said that, okay, my area, I'm professor in specialized in digital twinning, but I was graduated from Hanoi University of Science and Technology in mobile communications, so 5G, 6G, and IoT. So I'm still leading a research lab in that area at Middlesex University. So I'm acting as the chair of the Vietnamese Intelligence Society. At the same time, I am also the member of the Vietnam National Advisory Council on Science, Technology, and Innovation. So you know about Resolution 57 in Vietnam, right? That's one of the very important resolution from the Bureau board from Vietnam in this area. So okay, and the society, I mentioned before, we expanding a lot now. We got almost 20 members. So it's just some flashback to the 2024, you can see. So I don't know in Vietnam, this, okay, professor, or we call him sir. So he also the honorary chair of our society. He's one of the stars in the UK during the COVID time. So Professor Sir Jonathan Van Tam. So the name itself, you may see that he has some connection to Vietnam. And he has been kind enough to join our society as an honorary chair. So you can see his quote that scientists should never compromise professional ethics and integrity. Always speak truth to the power. Doesn't matter whose power is. It can be government, it can be anything. But be considerate and kind to the colleagues, especially in pressing situation. I believe that this quote also applicable to the mentorship as well, And we, even though we are mentor, you're mentee, but actually we consider you as colleagues. And Quế Anh is very right that sometimes we learn from each other a lot, not just one way. So be kind, be considerate. That is so important, especially if someone come to us to talk, okay, I have so much difficulty in this, I need some help, need some support, then that's important. Okay, so this is in 2024. You can see that Dr. Quế Anh is the vice chair of the society at this time. But since then, we expand a lot. Some of the activity, you can see that we have a lot of the academic activity, workshop, sharing experience, and so on. But at the same time, we got policy dialogue, the forums, and then we have discussion a lot with the leadership from both countries. One of the mission from the society is to promote UK, Ireland, and Vietnam relationships. And if you know that the reason high rank level from Vietnam delegation to the UK that has raised the level of our strategic relationship to the highest level. So that is so important that we contribute to that. Okay, and one of our key partners, also from the British Council, we have quite a lot of activities with them. Right, so you can see here the images that we signed, the MOU, the organized activity together. It's just a couple of months ago, we successfully organized one of the very big event in central London with British Council, connecting many universities from the UK and Vietnam together. So I talk about this. It all started from this. I think it's not in 2024, but this was in 2022. When we launched the Mentorship and Talent Development Program, the VIS MTD program at the National University of Economics in Hanoi. And you see, since then, we already gone through quite a different program. We connect officially with the British Council to launch what we call that as a Mentor and Talent Development Program, but only for Vietnamese researchers. In this case, the other program, we support all the Vietnamese researchers, even that they are overseas. They're from America, they're from Australia, it doesn't matter. But then we target a little bit, we narrow down the scope by going directly to the researcher who currently in Vietnam, because that's what the British Council really wanted to do. So the target is that, okay, get 100 ECRs early career researcher from Vietnam, and then we can have maybe a lot of group mentoring, one-to-one mentoring. So you can see the aims there. Clearly, we have the aims there, right? We support the ECRs, and then we support the potential PhD candidate from Project 89. If you know Project 89, one of initiative from the government who will fund researchers from Vietnam to pursue PhD overseas, right? So we wanted to support them before they go overseas to study, to do their research. So hopefully they will not have many surprise in that case. Okay, so we end up with 78 mentees. And then you can see some figure here, right? 82% of mentee reported satisfaction with the mentoring section. We organized 3 workshops and attracting actually 180 attendees. So 86% is mentor retention rate and so on. So that's just some of the results. Okay, so activity we did initially that has to be that, okay, how many register to this? How many just did the process? And so on. So we have 78. We leave some, the reason why we target 100, but we got only 78 because we leave deliberately, we leave some space for the potential PhD candidate from Project 89. We don't want to cover all 100% at the time, but we found later that actually we don't have many candidates doing PhD under the Project 89, but registered to the UK. So that another target later on, we said, okay, now this is our mission is that we need to support the Ministry of Education and Training to get more researchers from Vietnam to register P89 program to the UK. That's one of the missions later on we target. In terms of mentorship program, how we structure it, of course, that apart from one-to-one mentoring, about group mentoring, small group mentoring, and so on, we would organize that activity for the whole cohort as well. For example, like workshop 1, how to publish the research outputs. You can see the agenda there. That's what we did some time ago. You can see like a step-step guide to getting published, how to write academic paper, how to write an abstract, and so on. And then writing grant application, that's another workshop. We call workshop 2. It was done about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, right? So you can see we have different speaker, our in-house speaker actually, and a lot of them. And we share the experience about the funding application journey, right? Especially for a new PI and so on. And then we can even replicate this workshop again and again if we got interest. Yes, so you can see here quite a few other activity. Activity 3, workshop 3, for example, that's how in our structure of the mentorship program, we do like career development. We go back to like how to carry out a PhD study, the career development beyond a PhD study, what would be like that. And then, of course, there are always panel discussion on career development where we share the experience. Someone from industry go back to academy, someone from academy go to industry. We can invite all of them to come and share with you what is the best way for you. Okay, so yeah, success story, a lot of this. I cannot go through all of them, but you see that from from our mentor and mentees, they from the process, they come together, they propose a proposal. For example, like you can see very first slide over there, that one of our mentor combining with 2 mentees from University of Economics in Ho Chi Minh City, and then successfully secure a grant from the British Council under the ISPF program. So on climate change, sustainability, education, that's just one of many success story you can hear. And then our mentor here, Quế Anh, also have some very other successful mentee from Thủy Lợi University, and so on. And yes, and okay, maybe I have to skip all this thing. We can we can have a lot of this success story here. Okay, story 4, story 5. Story 4 about building confidence and securing PhD position, for example. Story 5, building mental confidence. Okay, the same thing, yes. And story 3 is a strong collaboration, dynamic research partnership, and so on. Joint publication. So a lot of success story over there. The feedback program also very positive. I have to say that, okay, not only VIS member are so happy to get involved in this mentorship program, but also our partner, British Council, really happy with this. Okay, about VIS. Okay, through the mentorship program, we also support you by encouraging you, the mentee, to participate in some of our signature activity like the Coffee Talk series. The Coffee Talk series is like a very short talk, about 15 minutes each, where our members share their successful story, whether in research, whether that a project, research project, or a very good publication, or some of successful research or new direction they want to share with us. So a lot of this talk has been done in the past, right? So as a mentees, you are invited to attend our activity like this as well. Okay, even some of the mentees, when they gone on and successfully secure some PhD scholarship in the UK, they travel to the UK and join us in person, actually, in some of the activity we carry out in the UK, like the TED event in 2024 in Cambridge, for example. And this year, we're going back to Cambridge again to do another Lunar New Year event over there. Okay, so I have to skip some of the activity. We did a lot of activity. I can see community event as well, supporting the other activity. This away day, VIS away day, one of another signature activity. We normally did this in the summer. We call away day, but we did also share some of very good talk and workshop during the away day. Some of theme topic that we carry out, for example, like the net zero, or the career development during that time. Okay. Leadership with, dialogue with leadership from Vietnam, so many of them. And then we even travel to Hanoi to support the other activity in Hanoi. And we organize the training workshop, lab visits for Vietnamese delegation through the Ministry of Science and Technology and so on. So many of such activity like that. Okay. And 2025, okay, we got a new board, executive board. You can see here, variety of different member coming from different locations in the UK. You can see from Northern Ireland, from Wales, from Scotland, and so on, and with different expertise. So covering our executive board. And we have the support from advisor and chair. You can see Sir Jonathan Bantam, I mentioned, and also the ambassador of Vietnam to the UK, Đỗ Minh Hùng. You can see them. Okay, maybe I will skip some of the highlight, spotlight from our member, Professor Đặng Việt Anh, Professor Finance. He's also the vice chair from University of Manchester. Another vice chair, Dr. Ian Chen, in innovation in entrepreneurship from Hertfordshire University. And I don't know, I can go all day about this. Maybe I just have to very briefly. You can see some highlight from our member over there from Ireland and so on. Yeah, okay, maybe I skip this. What we have, okay, going back to the phase, we got another phase for this, for mentorship. After the first phase, we target 100 ECR, 100 mentees, right? And then phase 2, we go on to, because I mentioned that project 89 from the government, we felt like that we could do more for the UK because the number of PhD candidates from Vietnam registered to study in the UK is not a lot, I have to say. So we think that, okay, maybe we need to do more about this. The government is ready to fund them Why not register in the UK? And then we found out there are quite a few problems. Some of the obstacles, like, okay, the scholarship from government can only fund up to $25,000 for tuition fee. And also that the stipend is only up to 1,300 USD for the UK. So if you study and live in London, for example, with 1,300 USD per month may not be enough. So VIS, our society, take initiative to negotiate. Okay, some university, if you want to attract the best talent from Vietnam to do PhD in your university, you need to waive the differences in tuition fee. They can only pay up to 25,000 US$ per year. And also we need to provide some top-up scholarship for them to make sure that they can have 100% focus to do research while they register with you. So a lot of initiative like that, we try to support to the Ministry of Education to support the candidate. In terms of the candidate, we mentor them, coach them, like the selection of research topic, proposal development, admission process, advice on that, and then selection supervisor and suitable university, top-up scholarship I mentioned, and so on. So many different things. We even that, okay, when they travel to the UK for the first 1 year, we will follow up with them in terms of how we do literature review, how to formulate research problem, how to do publication and writing skill, and so on. And many other universities in the UK register their interest in this P89 program. You can see on the list there, right? Okay, and maybe I just skip all that and because our already time's running out. So yeah, if you want to know more about this mentorship program and so on, you can always contact us. The contact detail on the screen there. So thank you very much. Back to you, Helen.
Thank you,
so much.
Professor Huấn. Okay.
You go ahead, Kim.
Kim, yeah.
Yeah. Just sorry. Yeah, thank you, Professor Huấn. It's so interesting and also really, really useful for Vietnamese partner and colleagues to know about this program. And I think that we may kick off with the first question from Mai, that, she would like to hear or to understand whether the workshop one that you mentioned earlier will be reorganized.
We can.
So
All the
for,
workshop we can, absolutely. We often rerun some program, for example, how to do PhD, even how to do a PhD, that a lot of interest. And because in the first run, we got so many questions that okay, we haven't been able to answer directly to all the attendees. Like, okay, the relationship between supervisor and PhD student at the time, and we feel like it's not in the best way, what suits the PhD handle in that situation and so on. And if the progress is not as expected, what would you do? And there's a lot of things, yes, we can share with you because we did PhD ourselves as well. And then we also now supervisor, we can understand both sides. So many things we can share with you. Rerunning the workshop, yes, but let me check what is the workshop on again. I forgot. Okay, maybe I stop sharing screen.
Publication. How to publish.
Publication, yeah.
Okay, that yeah, of course, that our member, we all professor there, that we got so much experience in sharing about publication, publishing and research. Yes.
Yes. So I would, thank you, Professor Huấn. So it's really, kind of powerful to share those, activities by VIS, who has been, contributing not just to the UK members, but also to, the education and to, the development of the staff and academics in Vietnam as well. So I think this is really interesting for our Vietnamese colleagues to really, this is a platform for you. You can ask Professor Huấn, and also we have other member here as like Dr. Quế Anh as well, who are ready to answer your questions. You can also ask in Vietnamese, and then can translate. I think that there is a translation automatically on the platform that Helen and Sarah. So you feel free to ask in Vietnamese as well. Is that maybe more comfortable for you? And Nhung, you can also kind of, step in to encourage everyone to kind of, talk and share their experience, also ask questions for Huấn and Quế Anh as well.
And the mentees.
And the mentee, yes.
Yeah.
And I know that, many of you here or, in the previous workshops sharing about, how to apply for PhD in the UK and how to apply for grant as well, and any other activity, any kind of opportunity for networking with academics in the UK and in around the world. So this is something that I think maybe you want to kind of, discuss here. Yes, Helen?
That's Tim. Can I ask a question of Quan, really? Quan spoke about how Quế Anh used questions to help her develop confidence. So I just wondered if she could talk a little bit more about how the questions helped her form her own thinking rather than a mentor giving you answers all the time. So just how that questioning worked. So if Miss Quan could talk a little bit more about that, I'd be really interested to hear about how the questioning approach within mentoring really helped her development of her research proposals.
The question for Quân, right?
Yeah.
Quân, are you there?
Okay, I'm here. So, yeah, can you ask that again?
And I just wondered, you mentioned about how your mentor asked you questions to help you develop your own thinking. So I just wondered if you talk a little bit more about that and how a mentor doesn't give you the answers, but helps you with questions to develop ideas.
Okay, so I think that Miss Quế Anh's style is not really like giving me the answer right away, but rather she challenged me with some kind of questions, yeah, and often counter arguments and make us like think, yeah, for the questions ourselves. For example, my research title is like resilience, enhancing resilience in second language education. So I just thought about a topic, but actually I have no experience with that kind of field. Yeah. So she asked me why I chose that kind of topic. Yeah. So have you have like experience before, or what aspect of resilience do you want to research, or maybe like about the methodologies? Yeah. So why you choose that kind of methodologies? You think that you can like collect enough data, or maybe the quality one or quantity data, yeah, for your research. Okay. And also she mentioned a lot about like how I structure the literature review, because I have like a practical experience. Yeah, but I haven't built up like the scholarly issues yet. Yeah, like kind of that. And how to questions all the like previous research findings as well. Okay. And well, like whether I want to express my like our opinion, why this topic, why now, and why me? Okay, what can I do? Yeah. So she encouraged us a lot to think. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I think that's so important, isn't that question why, and asking
Yeah.
that. And Dr. Quế Anh, I mean, as I've mentored people as well, and often it is tempting to provide a suggestion or a solution, but how have you sort of hold yourself back a bit and drive that into a question to help that thinking develop?
I think over time when we met several times, and somehow we develop a chemistry. I know who can cope with question and who may not like questioning. They feel like they're being corners. Like if I question too many, but for example, I can see sparkling eyes of Kwon whenever I give feedback to others. I can see that she's curious. She's really wanted to say something, and say, okay, hold on, keep your curiosity. I'm going to go to you and ask you a question. And with that kind of inquiring mind, I can read the emotion on each of them, and I think Kwon can cope with question, and she would not be offended when I ask further question. So I also need to measure the waters as well, because depending on their readiness and also their sometimes personality. I can see Kwon like question, because sometimes the question have a lingering effects on her. Sometimes 2 meetings later, she say, "Aha! Now I start to shed light on the first question." So I think that work when question make people remember better than giving the answer, because the question can open up more answers than one, and maybe the peer they can help each other addressing the question. So I don't need to give one way. So question open more doors than answers. So that my principle. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you.
Thanks, Quyang. I have a question myself, Quyang and Professor Huân, because I think that a lot of our Vietnamese colleagues here, they also, I think they raised some question in earlier workshop about how to find a mentor, because if they cannot have a mentor from VIS, and that's a reality, is there any advice for them, how to look for a mentor for themselves in Vietnam if their organization or university is not having that scheme?
I can start first. Okay, first of all, if you want to have a mentor at VIS, feel free to contact us, because we feel like our responsibility to give back to the community, give back to the colleagues from Vietnam, that we are ready. We wanted to support you in many ways. So whether to share the PhD scholarship, or maybe to give you advice on certain things in your career, we always ready to support you on that. But I understand that, okay, remember, we don't have the unlimited time and energy. So sometimes we're busy as well. And if you have to look outside of our society, I encourage you to really look into someone that is maybe closer to the area, if you can, yes. And then started with discussing the question with them. Don't just ask, can you be my mentor, but rather discussing with them a certain interesting topic, get to know them. And then through that process, that is a mentoring, You don't have to say explicitly that, can you be my mentor, and so on. That maybe sometimes doesn't work. But the mentor will come naturally through the process, that you get in touch with them, discussing a research topic, and then naturally they can give you advice, I do recommend you to connect with other members, with not just from the UK, even from Europe, from America, from Australia, many different. So someone that you can look up to, someone you think that really they can give you our professional advice. From professional advice, from the technical advice, they can come back and give you career advice. That may come after that. Okay, maybe Quyang can add something to that.
I think Huân had mentioned, but we also have our network with Vietnamese academic as well. So in case we know that Vietnam, maybe some university already set up that kind of mentorship, but informally, and probably, I mean, you as an agent of change in your institution, you can start one and invite others, but come to us. And if we cannot provide you with that, we will introduce you to our colleague in Vietnamese university, maybe in your own university or maybe other university in Vietnam. So we do have our partner in Vietnam, and some of them might be, depending on your discipline. For example, one would know a lot of people in his area. If you studying in his area, he will be able to introduce you to expand your network, and then through that you can get advice and mentorship. Maybe it's not a formally organized mentorship, but you always have someone to talk to That is how we can do to connect you with other colleagues in Vietnam. Maybe these members either we don't have enough discipline to respond to your requests, or we don't have enough time to do so, because all of these one mentioned in his long presentation are voluntary work. We do not have time to get paid for any of those activities. So all this is our voluntary. We cut our personal time, your family time to give to people. All of my mentors mentorship meeting, mentoring meeting is actually at weekend. So they also work full time. So we also work full time, and we work during weekends, 2 hours of my morning, a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, to work on these. So give and take, that's what we think. And we think that sharing is also caring, but also two things we consider that it always increase when we share. Is first thing is knowledge, second is love. If we love each other, we share knowledge, then love and knowledge will increase.
I did meet them in Vietnam as well. On my trip to Vietnam, we always find time to arrange for coffee. And we got few mentors from Hanoi University of Science and Technology, some mentees there. Love to have coffee with them in Hanoi or in Ho Chi Minh City. So yeah, the in-person connection also important in this case. I assume that all of you got affiliation with some Vietnamese university, right? Or not the case? So
Yes.
pay attention that,
Yeah,
okay, you should connect with the British Council in Vietnam as well, because they may have a lot of activities that you can participate in. And if you are the lecturers, you can also participate in writing the joint grant proposal with us. And through that process, we can do mentoring there as well. We can support you how to write a grant proposal and so on.
I think you also, many Vietnamese university organize summer school, and then many of our VIS members will go back to Vietnam to visit our family during the summer. So there will be a high possibility that we can join you or support you during your summer school. But of course, we cannot organize all of this. It's a lot of, you require a lot of work to organize a summer school. But if you organize summer school, we're happy to participate or contribute or share with you during the summer. So if you have any activities, share with us and we can plan together. Does that make sense?
Thanks, Huấn and Quế Anh. Yes, we still have 9 minutes left for any of you to ask any question, and you can also ask in Vietnamese as well, so I can translate back into English for Sarah and Helen.
So HUTECH is Bách Khoa Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, right? Is that right? How?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's right. It's Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology. Oh, Thao speaking. I don't know if we can't hear you.
We can hear you slightly.
They are two different universities. HUTECH is another university, and Bách Khoa University is another one.
Really?
Actually, yeah, one Bách Khoa University is University of Technology. As far as I remember, I saw that on the school gates.
So they are different. Okay.
Yeah, two different.
HUTECH trong tiếng Việt là trường Đại học Công nghệ Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Right. Okay, I see.
And we also have colleagues from Thap universities as well. I'm not sure anyone from Thap here.
I got a colleague who did my PhD together in Australia with me. We were same age. He's from Thap, but he is now the professor at Bách Khoa, Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. So we still get in touch a lot with a lot of connection. I got few projects with university from Ho Chi Minh City. Some with Văn Lang and the other one with Vietnam National University over there.
I'm sure that today, it's not just our colleagues from HUTECH or Thap, but I think that invites went out to many other universities as well. So we have quite a wide range
You have
of
done well,
participants.
Jim, Helen, and Sarah. That get the workshop with like at some point we got approaching 60 participants. So well done, excellent.
Yeah. We did have some workshop that reached nearly 100, isn't it? Or over 100. I think we could not even let people in because the Zoom, kind of limit 100. But yeah, we have really good number today, I think, because they very interested to hear about VIS and the mentorship scheme. And I think, yes, it's really, really good participation.
No, I don't think we've got any more questions, have we? So shall we wind up our webinar for today? So I'd just like to say a huge thanks to colleagues from VIS, particularly Professor Han, Dr. Huiyan, and then our mentees as well who spoke, Miss Mai, Miss Ha and Miss Kwan. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Huge thanks as well to Kim for organising our colleagues today, and also for Sarah as well for pulling slides and materials together. I think it's been so interesting hearing about people's experiences, but also the work of VIS and the excellent and impactful work that it's doing in Vietnam, but also in the UK as well. Just a reminder, our next workshop is the 26th of February. At 3:30 in the afternoon for Vietnamese colleagues and 8:30 in the morning for British colleagues. And that is about careers and employment, so career development, thinking about that. So we hope you're able to join us then. And also as well, if you do want to go on to the MOOC, the Massive Open online course about mentoring and coaching, section 6 of the MOOC is all about mentoring and coaching and thinking about the positives and benefits of having a mentoring experience. Thank you so much for joining us all today, and we hope those Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, just one more thing, like for Mai, Kun, and also Ha, if you want to attend the next workshop with us, you are welcome, and also please also send the invite to your colleagues as well. So yeah, we're happy to have you in the next workshops.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody. I hope those in Vietnam have a lovely evening. Those in the UK have a very enjoyable day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.